And also choreographer for one of our years too.
You've spoken very highly of her, so I'm
Oh,
glad
she's
to
amazing.
make your virtual acquaintance, Amy.
Oh, the other one I speak highly of is her sister, Andrea.
Ah,
They're
all
both
right.
pretty amazing.
Cool.
Well, yay. Well, the menu of challenges has been released, and there's no real rules established yet, but hopefully this is getting people's idea generators running as they read through it.
I have to say, Bob, this is Chris Schmatovich, but I loved I loved the list there. And I mean, last year when everything was shut down, we actually did a single vehicle kinetic race on the property around here. So we'll be happy to do that again and video it and send some clips in.
That's cool. Awesome. Yeah. I think we're all looking forward to seeing everybody's vehicles and some clips of them. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. And there were a number of the other challenges, and I appreciate each one's got kind of an open, you figure it out yourself option. So hopefully we'll get some good creative, wacky inputs.
I think we will. I think it's going to be, it feels like the judges are a little bit nervous at the moment because no one's judged anything like this before. So I'm hoping to attract a couple of judges and work with them and then be able to put something out into the community that says, it's not that hard, you guys. It really isn't.
Yeah. I mean, it's different than a physical race. And even in the physical race, a lot of the categories are pretty subjective and for fun. I mean, the main ones are not, but
right.
Why not just have fun with this? Give wacky awards. That would be my input. But I've never been a judge. That's not true. I was a judge in Port Townsend. That was a lot of fun, but a minor disaster. So.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the story I hear from a lot of people who judge, like Steve McCaney, who is the current president of the board. His first exposure to kinetics was Hobart found him on the street or something and said, "Hey, come be my head engineering judge." And so Steve showed up the morning of the race. He says, "Okay, head engineering judge, where's the rest of my judges?" And Hobart says, "Didn't you bring them?
Didn't you recruit anybody?" Yeah, right.
Didn't you? Oh, classic Hobart. Yeah.
Well, that sounds like me back in 2010. We have Band on the Bricks every Wednesday night on Pearl Street Mall. And the New Mexico team has raced, we're at 40 years now, and they've come up about 25 years from Albuquerque.
Wow.
I just spoke to John that morning, and John came to 218 California Kinetics with his Roadrunner.
Yep.
Anyway, he called and he said, "I can bring the craft this year, but I don't have any team. No son, nobody. So can you find 4 to 6 people?" And I said, "Okay, I'm on it." So Full Street Mall, I had little flyers, going around. And there was a guy sitting there for hours next to my husband. And he was just holding that flyer and just, and I walked by him and I said, "I just got a call from the New Mexico kineticist. I'm looking for a team." And of course, it's 10 o'clock at night. My husband and I drove separately, so I wasn't going to give him my phone number. So I said, just go on this email or whatever, and email me. And he wrote this 2-page letter the next day. He's like, "This would be so cool, and I can find the people."
Awesome.
He's one of my buddies now, and he's been racing on the New Mexico team, my team, and others.
I love that organic nature of this thing that we do, that you just find people and it clicks with some of them. Like our
Yeah.
very first race, we had never been to the race. We didn't know anything about it other than what showed up in the YouTube videos that we had watched. And we took our vehicle that we had made, we bought a welder, built a rig, and we're like ready to come up to the race. And we took it to Maker Faire the weekend before. And we met a lot of people. And one of them was this woman who said, "You've never done it?" And we said, "No, we've never done it." And she said, "You need a pit crew, And we're
Right.
okay. And she says, "I want to be on your pit crew. I've always wanted to come do the race." And we're like, "Great, you're in." And now she's a lifelong friend. She's an amazing human being, and we love her dearly. But those are the kind of like kismet things that happen around this race. And I think that's one of the reasons that so many of us just it's in us now, and it's important, and that's why we want to keep it going.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
My first version of a pit crew were the wives of 3 pilots, and we completely underestimated what was needed from a pit crew. And of course, our vehicle struggled massively for the first couple of years. So we needed drill bits and parts, and they were it was worse than having no pit crew. And we went from there to children. And the children are incredibly helpful. I mean, if nothing else, digging sand out from in front of the wheels, they can do that like hellions.
Yeah.
But thankfully, those children are now old enough; they can drive trucks, and I'm trying to convince them to actually pedal the machine and let me be pit crew. So yeah, pit crew is essential.
Yeah, yeah. We didn't know about bribes, so we we show up, and I had a very righteous attitude about bribes. It's like, oh, bribes. No one gets a bribe. We're going to be totally above board. And then it's like, oh, it's the culture. Got it. So the field there by the kinetic lab there, I don't know what the business is that's that parking lot, but like 10 o'clock in the morning of the Saturday, I'm inside the dumpster, digging around in it. And I found looking for stuff. And I found this box with like a gross worth of clamshell necklace cases that were empty, no necklaces in them, no tennis bracelet, sorry. And it's like, wow, we're going to put all of the string cheese that we brought as snacks in these clamshells, and that'll be our bribe. And like the look on Amy, Cliff and Amy, on the look on Amy's face when I gave her this tennis bracelet clamshell. And she opens it up, and it's a string cheese. She's like, "Oh my god, this is the funniest thing I've ever seen." It's like, and I'm like, "Oh my, we're in. We're completely no idea what's going on, but nailing the aesthetic." So
right. Yeah, you slotted in well.
Yeah. Slotted in well. That's a good way of putting it. Yeah. So our hope with this race, with the way that with this thing right here, is that we can attract people in who don't like. We had incredible good fortune, my team and I, and it, like you say, Chris, we just slotted in, and a lot of people struggle to figure out how to participate. Where do you start? You watch the videos, it's like, wow, what do I do? And And we have to figure out what that is. What is that? How do you onboard somebody who has an interest, but has never, maybe they go out dancing once in a while. Maybe they made a Halloween costume, but they don't have any of the skills built up yet, none of the muscles for this. And we don't know the answer yet. We don't know how to do this yet, how to get someone.
Well, I've had a number of people over the years. I tell them, just join my team.
Yeah.
You can show up or not show up. You can ride or not ride, but you'll get some hours here and there and you'll figure it out. And so I've several people that want to have their own team and they would ride along with our team. So that might be something we could promote, where there's like a dozen teams that can take 2 extra people as ride-alongs.
Like Sandy was finding for John for Plo, like you're doing there. So yeah, there could totally be a proceduralized thing of here's people who want, and like, we have some some teams like yours that are very generous with their time and energy. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Probably a half dozen teams would be sufficient. People who I'm thinking of, like Lush Newton's team and Spring Chicken and your teams that are there and really know how to have fun. They're there to have fun. They're not there to like conquer the course. That seems like a good fit. Boy, I love the ideas that pop out of Flat Tire Stories. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The gentleman that was just talking, is he part of the Swing Kids team, or?
Yep.
Is it?
That's me, Swing Kids.
Oh,
Thanks.
okay, I love you guys.
Oh, thank you.
I don't know. A couple of years ago, we were on the sand behind you, and of course we were working to Ace, and everybody was bottled up ahead of June's Dunes, and you guys were out there dancing, playing music. It was just wonderful to participate with that and have that kind of as a impromptu display out in the sand where everybody's sweating and hot. So yeah, you were a very inclusive team. I can see a lot of people would want to participate in that group. That's wonderful.
This is my granddaughter and choreographer too, and our
granddaughter. Oh my gosh, good. My granddaughter is only going to be 4 years old, so I hope I last long enough to recruit her, because they're at the races, but they're not pedaling yet, not even a barnacle. Fabulous. I love you guys.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate the compliment.
Yeah. Swing Kids are amazing.
Well, I really lucked out because the swing dance community is different than a lot of other dance styles. They're just extremely inclusive.
Yeah.
So if you're a really great swing dancer and you have a partner and you go to an event, you'll only dance with your partner 4 or 5 dances. So it's extremely social. So if you're doing something fun, then all of a sudden there's 15 or 20 other swing people that want to join it. So it's been really amazing for me too.
So who built one of the challenges for bringing people in is just the number of machines and the ability to build and maintain a machine. Who built your machine?
I did. It was okay, here's the story. A very young gal from the swing group, just of age and extremely promiscuous, wanted to be in the race. And so she said, let's build a machine and I have a shop. So she had so many boyfriends. One was a welder. So she's getting all these people. So it was basically my idea and my machine, but it never would have happened without her. And we had a lot of problems with the team that year, personality problems. And I didn't think my friendship would last with her, but it has. She's just turned into an amazing person, married, kids, all that right now. And so that kind of blew the whole thing open for me. And so since then, and then other teams have helped. Araya, do you know Araya? He was Funkin' Pizza Ship a few years ago.
Okay.
You get it? Funkin' Pizza Ship.
It's a funky pizza ship.
But I was at the welder shop, and it was a couple of days before the race, and the welders were trying to tell me what I needed to do, which I knew wouldn't work, and they wouldn't listen to me because I didn't know anything. And Araya had a shop next door, and he came over, pushed everybody out of the way, grabbed their tools, and within a half hour had my machine ready to go in the race. So they're just amazing things like that. And then Steve, I like to tell the story. I exaggerate a little bit, but Steve with the Trilobikes.
Oh yeah, sure.
I don't know him. I didn't know him, but he's in a dance community also. And he said, if you ever need anything, come by my house. So I came by like a week or two before the race when we're all going crazy. And he meets me at the front of the shop, completely unfriendly, says, what do you need? And I says, well, I need da-da-da-da. He goes in his toolbox, hands me about $40 worth of parts and says, now get out of here. So it just illustrates the community. We're all going crazy those last 2 weeks, but we are going to help no matter what. We're going to help.
Yeah.
So, and then of course, Ken, I used to bug Ken like crazy, always down there in the kinetic lab. So I mean, to me, that's what it was. It was all these other people coming in when I needed them.
Okay. And it starts with a feeling of wanting to be inclusive and have people come in.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it.
What I find is that each group always also needs the person to play the role of the woman you described that just has to be in the race no matter what.
Yeah.
Maybe doesn't know how to do it, but somebody's got to have the drive to pull it together in the first place. So,
yes.
Yeah. And maybe we help create that by trying to give people rides on machines. Huh.
Well, do you know Mira, Shoshana's 14-year-old daughter?
No, I don't.
Well, she wants to build a machine, and she was over here a couple of weeks ago, and I was teaching her how to weld.
Excellent.
And do you guys TIG weld at all?
No, I have a stepson that's a TIG welder, but all my stuff is just MIG welded, wire welded.
Well, with TIG, it's very important to get the tungsten tip very close to the metal, but you can't touch it. If you touch it, you ruin the tip, and you got to spend 5 minutes regrinding it.
Mm-hmm.
So I regrind tips every 15, 20 minutes. This little 14-year-old, her very first time welding, she spent an hour welding, never contaminated the tip, not once.
Yeah. Steady hands, good vision.
Yeah.
and a 14-year-old, I mean, fantastic.
Yeah, so hopefully she'll be building a machine and.
Yeah, okay. Good.
Phew. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, Shoshana's kids are very cute and sweet, and that young lady is very gung ho to be a racer, a builder racer. She's done the microkinetics for as long as Shoshana's been doing it, and she's like, I need to ride a thing. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Bob, is there any way to gauge what level of interest there is in this virtual race event this year? I mean, we won't know till videos start coming in, or are you having contact? Hard to know.
It's hard to know. This document that it doesn't track how many times people look at it.
Mm-hmm.
What does track is how many times people watch the video of Dawn and I doing our characters and introducing it, and that's it's like 28 views or 30 views. It's not huge yet.
Yeah.
But also, like, we haven't even pushed out the racer packets yet, the registration. So that's when we'll know, for sure. If we like last time, I think there were 6 teams registered. Was it 6 or 8? It was, some relatively small number. I'm hoping that we get, twice that, but we could totally accommodate like 30 teams this year.
Well, I mean, with the menu of options that are available, I'll call, the people that I know in Port Townsend and say, do something,
Yeah.
do something, record it and put it out there. Gosh darn it.
Right.
Everybody can choose one of those options. And I think it'd be fun to have inputs, whether they build a machine and race. What's that?
I said, Charlie's always up for that.
Sure.
We filmed a lot of our videos for last year, separate from each other, and then composited them together to make the whole stories. And so there's, like, with the cell phones and the technologies that we have these days, it's actually pretty easy to tell really entertaining stories without like having to spend time, on top of each other, breathing the same air. So right. I'm looking forward to something. I'm going to have my 2 children do something. My daughter has appeared in a couple of our videos already. She was our mermaid, the mermaid in the Under the Sea adventure that we did. But I think my son, I think he's excited to build something, even if it's just dominoes, like going across something and firing something off, who knows, but we'll see. Yeah. One of the things would be amazing is to start to build up a body of work that makes it easier to promote this lifestyle. And I think that's one of the things that excites me about this approach, is that it feels like it has legs for the future. There's all these different ways that people, like, if someone talks about their engineering, that's something that then can be shared and shown, and people are like, oh, this is just like a regular guy who's just banging stuff together with a wire feed welder. It's like, I could do that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So how do you contemplate gathering that footage or discussion?
Yeah, so the stream team is meeting tonight simultaneously with us, and they're coming up with how the videos are going to be ingested and then organized and promoted. So looking forward to that.
Huh. Yeah. Awesome.
Robot corrects me. There were 10 teams last year, so that's pretty good. 10 teams.
Excellent.
For the egg challenge. Yeah.
Yeah, we failed to participate. We decided to we built a machine, or not built a machine. We built artwork in hopes that some kind of race would happen. And when it was clear that it didn't, we just said, well, we'll set up a course around our house.
Yeah.
Well, I love doing the 15-second challenge of the parade, at Microkinetics Plaza. And so we were asked just to produce a 15-second and shoot it at, left to right, as if you're standing there and watching a parade. And so Steve, a kineticist for 38 years here in Boulder, anyway, he had a device, like a child stroller or something, and we put, decorated it up, and he pushed it in my driveway, which had a slight downhill, and it just like perfectly came by with the spinners going, and
Perfect.
that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I liked the microkinetic parade. That was very cute. Yeah.
And it was extra fun because with the technical problems, Steve came over to our home and we watched it live. And because of the technical problems, we saw it about 30, 40 times. Because the puppet guy didn't have the script. He's like, yeah, mine was Freddie Flyer. And he's like, oh, there goes the frog. And then, 15 minutes later, oh, this is Freddie Flyer from Boulder.
Yeah.
It was great. We loved it. We loved it. It was so fun.
It was so randomized and entertaining. If you weren't like committed to a certain experience, it really was a really great time. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Boy, everybody has just had to do so much work to adapt to this entire situation.
Yeah.
Whew.
I'm hoping people are getting their vaccinations.
I did. I got 2.
Awesome. I got my first a couple days ago. Yeah.
Yay.
Perfect.
My county is just opening up for people my age, and I've signed up to be alerted. So hopefully, first part of April, I'll get vaccinated. Yeah. We're still debating about going to Klamath Falls for that event. Dawn and I are talking about it. The marvelous thing is that Lance says there are vehicles that need a little TLC, but are available, which I'm towing the art and the rig and it's like, if I could go somewhere and put some art on something and have a good time with people I haven't seen in a year and a half, that would be, or 2 years, that'd be super fun. So we're thinking about it.
So Lance. I've lost touch. The Klamath Falls event wasn't that late April last year?
No, it's the last weekend in June.
June. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Isn't that creepy?
Is there a full moon that weekend? Is it just the solstice? why is it that weekend, Lance?
It was about a month after the Arcata race, about a month before the Corvallis race.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's like trying to figure out why Port Townsend is the first full weekend in October.
Oh, but I know why. Why.
Why? I don't even know why.
It's because the Wooden Boat Festival is over and all of the freaking tourists have left town. So you guys get your town back. That's why.
That's perfect.
And the weather is usually not that great.
Yeah, weather schmather. I mean, the weather's usually not that great in Arcata either.
Right, but it was perfect when I was on Team Goddess Racing 217. It was just beautiful.
Perfect.
Sunny, just great.
I heard somebody say once that the Arcata race will not be called on account of sunshine.
Right. In the event of sunshine, we'll run the race anyway.
Yeah.
Well, the one time that we went up to Port Townsend, 2017? Might have been.
Yeah, I was supposed to meet you up there.
There you go. It was absolutely the most stunning, beautiful, sunshiny weather, cool at night, warmish during the day, but not so much that you're like, oh, I wish I wasn't exercising. and just oh my golly. And the air was just lovely and breathable. And Mount Baker is like, I can't believe that thing is 100 miles away from here. Look, it's like I could touch it. Yeah, just, ooh.
Yeah,
Ooh.
Bob, what did your craft look like that year that you went to Port Townsend? Do you remember?
Oh, yeah. So we were still super new at the race, and we hadn't yet realized that we could like reuse the art for each race. So we were making new art each time. And Port Townsend is, PT. So we became the Patera trike, and we had these pterosaur masks and wings, and we had a volcano on our vehicle. And yeah, we had a great time. So we would not have gone, except there was money that had been awarded for gas.
From
And
Corvallis or something. Yeah.
yes. And Peter Wagner said, hey, I'm going up there and there's room on the bus. I'm just taking the one vehicle. There's room on the bus for your trike and you guys. I drive the entire time, but I need someone to help out with the kids. And we're like,
did you know what you were getting into there? Yeah, Sam and yeah, okay. I know
Sam and Lily.
Lily, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my golly. It was, I think about and Peter and I are like kindred souls as far as thriftiness goes. So like parking in a giant parking lot in the middle of nowhere and spending the night, like absolutely.
No problem. Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah.
The only thing to eat is leftover food from a Burning Man experience from like a year and a half ago. Hey, there's beer and white wine in the fridge. It's like, wow, where did this even? Oh, it's from Burning Man, from like when we went last time. It's like, yeah, no one's going to drink that beer and white wine, dude. Stop offering it. Just, set it by the side. One of these rest stops that we're blowing through.
Leave that out.
Just leave it there. Just pull over. It's good. Oh my golly. So partway through the weekend, it's like 2 days drive up, weekend, 2 days drive back. At some point during it, Dawn and I looked at each other, and there's a video that she made about the experience. It's not long. It's super entertaining for me. But we looked at each other. We're like, really glad that we're having this experience. Not sure when we want to do this again. Just so great. It was so, it's a cherished memory all the way through everything, the meltdowns and the peanut butter foldovers and the, sleeping in the back of the thing with the vehicles while the diesel fumes are being, sucked into the back of the rig. It's like, and traveling with a man, Let's Go Harry, who had recovered from a broken spine and married a Thai lady and like had this whole like giant life story of his own. And he's dead now by another like horrible accident. And it's like, how do all these pieces come together and like make these magical experiences? It's just stunning. There's
like the days, Robert.
I've been racing for maybe 6 or 7 years, but for the first 3 years before that, I volunteered as a medic. And myself and several friends wanted to go to Port Townsend, but so I called ahead and said, we'd like to volunteer as medics. And they go, well, we'd love to have you. So we get up there, and turned out Port Townsend had never had medics, and we were the only medics. And I'm not a medic. I just had a 2-week training course in first aid.
That's probably more than most of the people there have.
So,
Right, more than most, yeah.
but they were calling us all over the place. So it was really fun. But then I had this one, I think it was a boy who got cut, and it was a little beyond my ability, and a real doctor lady. Somebody found her and brought her over, and she looked at my medic kit and was just appalled because dirt and leaves.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh my. Yeah.
That's funny you say that. My first feeling included in the kinetic thing was I was recruited as a medic during the race. This was back when they were running slippery, slimy slope.
Okay.
And there was a guy, he was a medic for the race, and he said he was a Vietnam vet. He called himself Spider-Man. I saw him a couple of years. I've never seen him since.
I remember Spider-Man.
Yeah, okay. But in that time frame, it was, knee-deep mud coming up to the slippery, slimy slope. And some spectator somehow fell and twisted his leg. He actually broke his leg, and Spider-Man recruited me to carry him out to the end of the road so they could get him in a truck and get him into wherever. But from that point, he deputized me as a medic, and I had a purpose. So it was really fun. I hung out with Spider-Man there, and I did that a couple of years, and then he disappeared. I didn't see him again.
I don't know whatever happened to him.
Yeah, he was a nice guy, but
People
the spirit of just pulling you into the race.
Yeah.
People who want to volunteer, I always say, get your first aid and be a medic. It's the best volunteer job because everybody loves you. You can go anywhere you want. There are no restrictions.
Right.
Or have a portable welder.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's always popular. That's always popular.
Yeah. Team Weld Your Shit was super appreciated the last time we raced. Yeah.
Carmen and John, they're just amazing. Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
I remember one year having to weld big spicy meatballs from Port Townsend and Frogosaurus from Corvallis
Oh yeah, okay.
at Crab Park. Just because I happen to have a welder in the back of my truck.
You have done a lot of things over the years for the race, Monkey.
Yeah, well, it would fill a book if
Oh.
I can remember.
That's what a Ghost Rider's for. They try to tease all those memories out of you.
Right.
Well, should have done it when I was younger. I can remember then. So I'm trying to wrap my mind around the whole concept of the race in place thing. You know, after so many years of racing on the course, with my experience, it's hard to understand the race in place. So
Are you in Arcata? Where do you live?
I live in Washington now,
Washington. Okay.
but I'm originally from Eureka,
Okay.
and I've raced Port Townsend and Corvallis and Sacramento and
Oh, Sacramento, the Roar thing.
Yes.
God, I did that right when they stopped it. Okay.
I think I was the year before they stopped it.
Okay. So do you have any open space around your house? Any public
Um,
space?
Well, yeah, I kind of live at the beach.
There you go. You've got sand. Actually, do you have a machine?
Not yet. I got a guy that wants to build one.
Well, if there's any reasonable chance of making, it doesn't have to be a machine capable of the Eureka Marathon, but build
Excuse
something that'll
me.
go across the sand.
Excuse me. I got 30 some odd years experience. It's gonna go across the sand and the water and the mud and everything
Oh,
else.
all right, right. Well, have at it. Yeah. So I guess my input there. I'm fortunate in that respect. I live on a 2.5 acre property in a pretty sparsely populated area. But what we did last year, we had, the base machine we already have. And I talked my son-in-law and daughter into pedaling it. And we had them do, I think it was 20 laps, but we've got a pretty steep hill. They did everything but water crossing here, basically on our property in our neighborhood. And since it was not a sanctioned event, every other lap they had access to an ice chest. So by the end of it, they had plenty of beers before the thing got stopped. But it could be a 2 laps around the block kind of thing, and video that.
Yeah, and that's the part, as being an old person that doesn't even know how to use Zoom.
Right.
Trying to figure out how to video all that information and enter it.
Yeah.
It's a lot different than all the years experience that I have to try to figure out, because I've never made a video.
Well, somehow you got on this Zoom call here. I wasn't sure I could do that myself.
Yeah, I'm still learning.
Yeah.
I've only done it once or twice.
Yeah. I feel you there. I messed up. I videoed most of the race that we did here, but it turns out I was hitting the record and stop buttons in the wrong sequence. So the most exciting parts of the race, I wasn't recording. I was recording me on my bike following them.
Now, where is here?
I live in Chico.
Okay.
Yeah, Chico, California. But yeah, so I messed up the video. But a friend, I hate to say it, it's always a younger friend in my experience, or they're happy to run the phone and help with the editing stuff.
Well, they're the ones who know how to do that stuff, is those young people.
Yeah. Well, and young people, we need, we got to celebrate us oldsters, but we need young people to find an avenue into this enjoyment, find a way to get into this lifestyle, really.
So we need to find videographers.
Sure.
And people that are interested in building as young, because we're all getting old. We can't do this forever. We got to get these young people involved.
Yeah, I mean, the sport requires a builder or builders. It requires art people. It requires, somewhat athletic people just to pedal a damn thing. There's so many avenues to come in, but the key, I think, is to hook somebody and make sure they have a good time doing it. Well, and it could be as simple as videoing your machine running to sand dunes in Washington.
One of the things that the maker movement was like amazingly successful at was introducing the idea that you have to document your work in order to participate in, so that, because they're like, okay, there's all these people doing all these things.
Yeah.
If we can get them to document their work, we can pool all that together and share this out. And right now we rely on, French guys flying in and getting run over as our videographers. We don't really have we're so busy doing and making and playing that we don't understand the value of documentation yet. And Monkey's absolutely right. We're not really great at that, but a young person is, and like you're saying, Chris, that's a way for them to get involved. So
and more than one person doing that.
Yeah.
Because everybody has different perspectives and can view the construction, the operation, the creative sides. But somebody has to put all that together in a video.
It's true. I do that for our team because I really love making videos. But
you're young, Robert.
Yeah, I don't even have my they wouldn't even let me get a COVID shot yet. That's how young I am.
What are they're going to open it up to the 20+ crowd, and you're going to get it in April?
Yeah. So I don't know if we have time to do it for this event, but you're making me think, Monkey, that one of the things we should figure out is how to create something that like you could bring to the junior college and say, I have this amazing opportunity for the people who are taking the broadcasting class. There's probably a way to leverage things that are already happening, because people who make videos need content. They literally are like, I don't know what to make a video about. So if we had something that was easy to say, here's what you could make a video about, that seems like a goal.
Well, not even junior college. I mean, just high school even. I mean, school, kids, school kids are just now starting to go back to school. So if we can get the younger generation interested in, filming, the construction, the participation, the whole scenario.
They make video channels and TikTok accounts, and they get excited when they have 10 subscribers. Look,
I have an opportunity to have a huge audience.
Right, exactly.
A few years ago here in Washington, robotics was a big deal at the local school.
Yep.
It's not so much a big deal anymore, but robotics, somebody's usually videoing the construction and the competitions.
Because there's a category in the rubric about how good is your documentation. And when they do these robotics contests, they have to provide documentation, and they get judged on that. So yeah. So they have these skills. They already know. We just have to figure out how to reach them.
It's a new generation that uses cell phones and cameras, and they're a lot younger now. We had VHS camcorders, and it doesn't match up with the current technology.
Yep, I still have my camcorder in the closet somewhere.
Yeah.
But the batteries probably don't work anymore.
Well, I haven't checked it in about 15, 20 years.
To get younger people involved, it's got to be interesting. It's got to be creative. It's got to be something that they've never done before, because they know everything.
Yeah, I think entertaining is the key. If they're interested in doing it because it's kind of fun, then they're more likely to come back and finish the project.
Yeah. You know, they have to shoot the footage, they have to edit, they have to make something interesting.
Yeah.
It's not just a matter of shooting pictures on your phone.
Oh, okay.
You know, I tried to, when I built my last machine, take pictures because cell phones weren't really a big thing then. And I have lots of pictures of the construction of the machine. But when you're the main constructor and you don't have somebody recording everything,
right,
it's hard to do something.
No, I feel you. That's my experience. Actually, my experience even being in the race is I enjoy the heck out of the race, but sometimes I don't even know who else was in the race because I spent my time pedaling the machine or fixing it or whatever. And the same thing with building it. I'm enjoying building it. I'm not taking time to photo or video, but you got my head working there. I have a stepdaughter who's an art teacher in high school, and either she or one of her siblings or one of her students might enjoy. Of course, I'd have to clean up my behavior in the shop a little bit. But,
no, it's raw footage. That's their
raw footage. Yeah,
very raw. Yeah,
very raw. Yeah.
At the time I built my last machine, we were in competition with the Kinetic Lab. We were one of the biggest teams in Eureka.
Okay. What machine came out of that?
Area 51.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay, great. Oh, you're Biking Fools.
No.
Are you part of Biking? No.
No. Area 51. We did my brain just went dead.
Oh, that happens to me all the time. But I remember your team name very, very well. We used to loosely be known as Team Why Not, but then we've become the Plans. But I remember Area 51 for sure. I just can't place the machines.
Yeah, the last year we had a big team. We had 3 different machines coming out of our shop, and we helped like 3 more teams, including Fifi.
Yeah, okay.
All right, cool. Fifi. So Monkey, you gave me an idea. You said you have a lot of beautiful pictures. Someone could take all of those and put those into a really cool slideshow with some really awesome music and maybe some before and after shots of you in some costumes or something.
Well, my particular team wasn't a big thing on costume and art.
If you have fabrication photos,
I will have to try to dig it all up. That was 20 plus years ago. That's how long ago.
Wow. And I'm sorry, the lovely lady in Boulder, I joined late and I didn't catch your name. I'm Chris.
Hi, Chris. I'm Sandy. Right now, my moniker is Green Goddess Dressing.
Green Goddess Dressing. Well, you know, I'm a goddess supporter. I built the machine for that presently races as the goddess machine out of Corvallis.
Oh,
So,
great.
Great to meet you, Sandy.
Well, thank you. And I've been involved with we were in Boulder, Colorado for 28 years. We're at 40 years now. We moved to Longmont, Colorado in 2010. And I've just been doing photos for like maybe 32 years, not as a professional, just, you know, I used to burn DVDs. I used to take like 15,000 or 1,500 pictures and I never deleted any. So, you know, I would do a DVD for each team, you know, with like 400 pictures on it. You deal with it.
Wow.
And then in case they wanted to use it for their Christmas newsletter or something. I don't know what they ever did with those DVDs.
Wow.
Boulder is one of those oddball races.
Aren't they all oddball races?
It is.
Because it's one of those races that happens at a park. and they charge admission for, at least in the old days. I don't know about recently.
Yeah, well, we were at Boulder Reservoir. But since for the new people tonight, you can go to YouTube and Google 25 years of kinetics. And you will see in a 1-minute presentation flashes of multiple crafts. We were at Boulder Reservoir. In our last year in 2007, we had 40,000 spectators.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And I think at that point, it was probably $50 a carload. But, you know, back in the old days, it was like $8 admission.
Mhm.
But
What was the radio station that
KBCO, that was Boulder
KBCO.
County, KBCO.
Yeah.
So in 2007, the year that Hobart died, and we used to fly Hobart out to our race to be, you know, the head MC or whatever. But anyway, yeah, they were purchased by the Clear Channel, iHeart Radio, blah, blah, blah. And they had no interest in, I think it cost $350,000 because they, to put it on, you know, they had cops, porta toilets, and the main focus was rock bands. And the reason we had 40,000 people is because it was the weekend before finals, and CU, probably 35,000 kids are at CU. So yeah, we're back to.
I thought they had free beer too.
Not free beer, but yeah, there was a beer
Coors.
sponsor every year, like Miller or Coors or Bud. Yep. Now we're in Little Longmont, you know, with 100 family, 100 folks and their little kids. So it's, you know, it's a whole nice little family thing.
Well, you know, as far as I know, Boulder is the second oldest race, if not.
We are. Yeah, we are. Fireman Rick Hartman saw the race in California, and he came back and started it in 1980.
Yeah.
And he didn't like California, so it went like from Boulder Reservoir to the town of Niwot to the town of Boulder. But shortly thereafter, we just picked Boulder Reservoir just all day. The teams show up at 8. You know, the gun goes off at 11.
It's a one-day race.
Yeah, they go all the way across the reservoir, and then the firemen make a mud pit over there, and then they do stuff, and maybe they come back into the water, and the bands are playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do, is it 2 laps or 3 laps?
I don't know.
Was it? Yeah.
I would say that we started at 11, and we had the fast teams, you know, that just went, they might have come in an hour, and the, you know, other slower teams might have come in 3, 4, 5 hours. But it was an all-day party, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
As opposed to Port Townsend, which is an all-weekend party.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, one problem with Colorado, when we were racing, it was like 95 degrees.
And the altitude.
Right. Well, we live here, so it's not the altitude. I don't like 95 degrees. I like Port Townsend, Humboldt, stuff like that.
Mhm.
I live on the beach in Washington. I don't like the temperature either, or the altitude.
It can sometimes be hot in Klamath Falls during the race.
Yeah.
Klamath Falls, I don't believe, is that high altitude.
Lance, what is the temps going to kind of be like in Klamath?
We usually have low 90s on the race day, and we're at, as far as altitude goes, we're about 4,000 feet.
Okay, well, we're the Mile High City. You might have heard of that. Denver's the Mile High City. Okay, well, I'm glad to know it's going to be hot. I'll start designing my costumes accordingly.
Yeah. No flannel.
Yeah.
Costume in layers.
Right.
I'll never wear leggings again. I for one of our machines, I think we were the flying sauna. It was a mashup. We were going to be aliens, and then the flying saucer didn't look like a flying saucer. It looked more like a big tub. So we decided it was a flying sauna. But by that time, I had green skin suit, tights and stuff. And that's what we wore in the race. By the end of the first day of the race in Eureka, my privates were so raw that it's like, I cannot put these damn things on again. So I just went in shorts after that. But yeah.
Yeah, those skin suits are literally the worst.
The worst. Yeah. They look great, in the parade or whatever. Yeah.
We keep making our team wear them just because they're so terrible, and people keep wearing them. They're like, "Oh yeah," it's like, "Oh, this hurts." Like,
yeah, right.
Suffering for art. Speaking of suffering for art, Robot wants you guys to know that he keeps trying to challenge Darren Freaky Droge to do a race in the snow. Like, we should have a snow race. There's not been has there been a snow race? I don't think there's been a snow race.
Not that I know of.
Pretty sure they didn't do that in Australia.
Right.
They wanted to do a race in Poland, but I don't think that it was ever in the snow.
Right. Well, years ago, we have a ski resort right up the canyon in Nederland. And there would be cardboard races down the mountain. But some of our kineticists have traveled all over, like Paul Bailey, who was there in 2018 on John Verplau's team. Paul Bailey's raced in the Red Bull Soapbox in LA, St. Louis. We had it at Red Rocks here in Morrison, Colorado. So that's kind of fun. Yeah, Darren is probably on about day 35. He posts, he goes skiing. He's retired. He's retired and his wife works. So, you go on Facebook and he's like day 35 and he's in his shiny silver with his crystal helmet, now with the mask.
Yeah, I love him so much. He's so just nuts. Yeah,
right. He's nuts, and he took his, his bike that he has with the foam pontoons. He went down a river in that. There was some kind of river race, not on crafts like Darren's, but I think he stayed upright. He went down some, drops and stuff, but he's just going along.
And as far as the snow race, maybe we could arrange something that corresponds to the Iditarod for the really brave.
Yeah.
This year was the first year of the Iditarod for a few years because there wasn't any snow.
Did they have enough snow this year?
Yeah.
So Chicago does the Shy Titarod, which is a food bank awareness and can drive. And you make a shopping cart into a big art thing and push it through the streets of Chicago.
In the snow?
Well, they do it when the weather is bad. And we have a similar event here called the Kota Titarod, and they do it in April. We're not going to do it this year, but they do it in April. And again, it's another thing that's like, if the sun shines, we're going to have the event anyway. And one of the years that we competed, it rained, hailed, wind, sunshine, more hail. It was an amazingly terrible weather event, and we had a blast. Yeah. Do
you remember that the kinetic race in Humboldt County used to be in April?
Yeah, Mother's Day. Yeah, it was a Mother's Day event.
Yeah. Actually, no, it was Easter.
Easter. It was an Easter. Well, Mother's Day event, and then Easter weekend, and then
the cross country race was a couple of years of Easter.
Yeah. Robot reminds me that Area 51 had devilfish and What else did they have?
Thanks, Robert.
Aquabat.
Yes, we had an Aquabat.
Yes.
We also had the X1.
The X1.
That was my machine.
Oh, I wonder if we have a photograph of the X1.
Oh, I don't think so.
Oh,
I don't think it's in there.
okay. I won't even bother looking.
I would show you, but my book's on loan.
Wow. That's pretty great. Loaning out your book so people see the stuff that you did.
Well, he's originally from Humboldt County and he lives here in Westport now. And he wants to build the machine.
The black and white picture in the book of you coming back out of the water after the Royal trailer sank.
The Port Townsend, yeah.
So great. It's like everybody's having a grand time, even though it's terrible. And that's the thing. It's like we know how to have a lot of fun, even when it's terrible.
You weren't there, Robert.
No, I wasn't.
You have no idea how cold that water is.
You're right. I do not. Because we did not sink when we went into that water.
You live in Santa Rosa.
I went into Port Townsend and our little Terra Trike did an amazing job. So, and that water was really cold. Super clear.
Now, so I'm going to say goodbye to everybody.
Bye.
Hi, Tom. Bye, Tom. Thanks for being here. Yeah, the water in Port Townsend was so clear. It was like Catalina Island clear, but 54 or 48 degrees or something. Yeah, I was not going to get in that water.
Yeah, not if you had a choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you talk about that picture. I had to hook a rope around that machine in crystal clear water, 20 feet down.
Wow. Wow.
You could see everything. It was that clear. We had to use a pole to get a hook under it to pull it out. And Green was hiding in the town tavern at the time because it was his machine.
Like, nope, you guys deal with it. I'm out. I'm over. I got some hoisting to do.
They tarred and feathered him that year.
Oh, good.
Okay, molasses and feathered.
Yeah.
But
Port Townsend knows how to have a good time, though. Those are some great people up there.
It's not the same as it used to be. It's gotten more populated. The town tavern, God, that was like the place if you were going to be in the kinetic race. That was the bar from an officer and a gentleman.
Wow. Yeah, I've seemed to have had plenty of fun at the VFW bar that is the central thing for the ball and everything.
Oh yeah, that's the dance place.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're a quarter of now. We're 15 minutes over, but it's like it was hard. I mean, an hour is arbitrary, but if people have something else to go do it. I don't know. This has been great. You guys are awesome. I really,
Bob, I want to thank you for stepping into, what are you, the president now, or what is your role on the, you're the grand poobah.
Flexible.
No. Yeah, I'm fluid.
Fluid.
Um,
And we can say gender in front of that or any choose your yeah.
Steve McCaney from Trilobike is the president.
Okay.
He's a super straight shooter and really has his eye on how do we make this transition something that welcomes more people onto the playing field and makes space that everybody gets to do the thing they're really good at.
Yeah.
Like people want to do stuff and sometimes they're not good at the thing they want to do, but there's some
that's entertaining. Yeah.
It is. Yeah. And I think Hobart looked for that. And there needs to be the space for that in the context of the race and when we get together and we do stuff together. But in the nonprofit side, we need people who are consistent and trustworthy and visionary and inclusive and business like they know how to like do business things and make unpopular choices and
make necessary choices and it's
make the
all of those things that you and the group of 4 or 5 people and I'm sorry I don't remember all of the people that are now on that board, but it's all of those things that I want to express deep appreciation for. I've done it for a sports club. I took a sports club from informal to a 503c thing and served as a president, formed the board. And it was a wonderful experience, but my God, it's a lot of work. So I just want you to know, I really appreciate what you guys are doing there.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, I understand what it takes.
Yeah.
It's all about excuse me, it's all about promoting kinetics in general. It doesn't matter if it's in Eureka, if it's in Port Townsend, if it's in Boulder. It doesn't matter if it's in Timbuktu. It's promoting people to get involved.
Yeah. Because there's lessons learned from participating in this that apply like throughout your entire life, and the skills that you build like kinetics doesn't matter. This is we invent this the whole time, but then the skills we build doing this, they do matter because that is solving. Yeah.
And it's being creative and it's the construction, it's the promotion, it's everything.
It's the human contact. It's the solving a really hard thing using the resources you've got. Yeah, I cherish this so much, and I'm glad to be able to be in this position where I can give back some. So to answer your question, Chris, I'm the acting treasurer, and I'm probably I'm the least good choice for that.
That sounds kinetic already.
Yeah, right. Like I'm super trustworthy. That's not the problem. The problem is we need somebody who like understands money. The reason I'm trustworthy with money is because I don't understand it. It's like, I see. Yeah, they use it. Elon Musk has it. Yeah.
It's because you're in Santa Rosa, Robert.
Oh.
Ow.
No, I'm serious.
Yeah.
Because they've had so many people from Eureka and Humboldt County that all they fixate is on that race.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
Local.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I see the cliquishness of it, and I say, how do we get outside of that? It's like there were no, Dawn and I are super high functioning. And so when someone said, you guys should go do this
Now
race,
that's your own
dove.
personal opinion. I'm assuming that's your self-assessment.
That's Don's opinion.
Yeah. Sorry, that was you set yourself up for that. I'm sorry.
It's true. It's true. I did.
Robert, before you even got involved in this, you got involved in the book, and that was Don's fault.
No.
He raced for many years before the book came out.
Yeah.
But
True.
you weren't in this category.
In this role.
In this role, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
You were a secondary when the book was coming out.
Yes. If even secondary. Yeah. Like, I designed the cover on the book, and that's like what I did, So I invented this letter style. So
it's beautiful. I love it.
Thank you. Yeah. I'm a graphic artist, so it's like that's what I
Okay, perfect.
Oh, cool.
I mean, I used to be. Lots of things, but that was one of the jobs I had once upon a time. So, and then Fiverr came along. It's like, wow, there's no money being a graphic artist anymore.
Right.
What else?
Digital.
Well, before I was derailed by that very funny comment, wherever I was going, it's gone.
I'm sorry. I should have just shut up.
No, it's good. I'm the treasurer. We're looking for a better fit, somebody who is more in the world of finance, because there's some serious financial stuff that we need to continue to do. And the body of work that all of the kineticists over 52 years have invented and developed is so big that if we could get the right person in to like see where this could go, there could be resources for all the races and more onboarding. Go ahead.
This might be a grant writer or somebody with a university that knows how to find funding.
Yeah, we're going to get that person. Actually, I'm a pretty good grant writer. I've gotten, several grants, but that's different than being the treasurer of a nonprofit who understands like strategic money goals and like where you should put dollars in order to get some return on where those dollars are going. I'm not that guy. I have all these crazy ideas. It's like, yeah, let's do that thing. That thing's super exciting. And it's like, that's not the smart thing to do right now.
You have to be a bookkeeper.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. You have to be. Yeah. So anyway, that's my current role is treasurer. I'm also trying really hard to keep the current board focused on vision and strategy and listening to the entire kinetic community. And that's kind of the nutshell of what I'm doing. There's others like hyper competent people doing other parts. So
there's been a lot more outreach, I would say, in the last 2 years than I've seen in the previous 20. And I don't know, attribute it to you guys or what, but I think it's a valuable thing. I feel guilty I don't participate more often, but for the first 15 years that I was in the race, I made certainly friends that were judges and in various positions, but you didn't see the inner workings of the race or the team that kept it going, and nobody was soliciting for what's your opinion, how did you build it. This is a refreshing change, and I hope it takes the race to bigger, more sustainable places.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I hope so too.
And this is also a difference in technology that we can actually do this on the internet, because in the old days you had to go to meetings and you had to know the people and you had to and all of us
you had to be an Arcata to participate as central to that race, but if you're not an Arcata, it's hard to be involved. So and that's changed.
You can also express your own opinions, and each race has their own different quirks, but they're all connected to the Arcata race, the Humboldt County race.
Yeah, it's the center.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to the Humboldt County race stepping into a role where it supports the other races. It's going to take a while for us to get there, but because it is the causal event, it seems natural that there should be a repository of skill and generosity coming out of Humboldt. The first thing that's concrete that we're doing is
the race concrete. There's a concrete in Washington.
We have purchased a customer management system that is geared towards nonprofits and fundraising. So if any of you have ever been approached by someone who is doing the AIDS ride or the human race, and they have this, sign up on my link and pledge, it's that kind of a tool. And we're gonna open it up so that like individual teams can do fundraising for themselves. Kinetic Universe will get whatever the minimum proportion is to make it legal and correct, but then teams get to jump into the program and do fundraising. So without a 501c3, they're piggybacking on our 501c3 basically. So we're looking forward to rolling that out in the within the next month. And then, in 2022, it's going to be far more implemented and there'll be a really clear path forward for teams and even other races to use it to do peer-to-peer fundraising. So we're super excited about that.
Can I ask a personal question, Robert?
You can ask.
Right. The response not guaranteed.
Has there been any communication with Justin?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, so I'm glad you asked that. There's been a lot of communication with Justin. He's been.
You don't have to answer.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's work to do to repair things that aren't our job to repair. But as a human being on the planet whose dad was like the instigator of all this, it's karmically correct for us to do what we can to honor Hobart Brown, to make sure Justin feels like we're doing what we're supposed to do. So yeah, we're in constant contact with Justin, and we're trying to let him and his team manage what they're asking for while also doing what's correct. So in concrete terms, there are yeah. I mean, that's all the high flu, that's all like the goals and like all that other cut. So in concrete terms, the chicken as either drawn or asked to be drawn by Hobart Brown, the phrase kinetic sculpture race, the image and likeness of Hobart Brown. There's some pieces that are that like intellectual property that the estate of Hobart Brown claims. And we want them to claim it. The kinetic universe wants them to, put the stake in the ground and say, this is our stuff. And in order to use it, in order to use it, you have to give Justin this and that. And we're working, it's a little bit weird, but because we're the client, but also we're like trying to help Justin get to the other side of that, to where there's an actual document that says we've filed the paperwork and now we actually own these things, and here's how you license these things from us. So that's not happening. It's happening slowly, but it's not going to happen before this race. So
that's how I got unbanished.
Yeah, it's true.
You gotta go talk to the source.
Well, the source is, yeah. We do talk to the source. We talk to the source a lot. And Justin is designing up some artwork for some merch for this year. So that's very cool. We're going to be promoting that in a little while. In the absence of an actual ability to create a legal framework, we're going to do an honorarium this year, and hope, fingers crossed, there will be an actual legal framework next year that we can move forward with. There's just not really enough time to file trademarks and IPs before we have to start promoting for this year. So.
And one of the difficult things you have to work with is you're in California. So the stuff you do in California doesn't necessarily pertain to all these other races.
Oh, we have nothing to do. No, if they're not, yeah.
That's not state. That's not state specific.
Kinetic Universe can't even make a commitment for another race. We can only make a commitment for the Humboldt race. Okay. We can model behavior for other races, but there's no legal structure that it would be laughed out of court if we said all these other races have to now do this because we made this agreement. There's no structure there.
Maybe we should be a corporation.
No.
Never mind. Sorry, I was temporarily insane.
I plead temporary insanity as founding this corporation over here. Yeah.
It's been tried. It never worked.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I'm gonna drop off. Gonna have dinner now. So see you later, guys.
Okay, good to see you, Lance.
Thanks, Lance.
Thanks, Lance.
Yeah.
I think I should call it as well, you guys. This has been great.
You're the one with the button, Robert.
I do have the button, but you guys, I'm a servant. I'm in service mode.
So the question I'm dying to ask you, Robert,
yes,
and maybe I'll save it for the next time, assuming there is a next, is what the hell do you do outside of kinetics that makes you such a good mediator for this kind of stuff? I mean, I've talked to you a number of times at races, but I'm in much more goofy form then than I am even now. But that's the only thing on my mind, and I'm content to leave it till next week if need be.
You know what? Yeah, they'll be next week. So next week, we're going to. I'm going to jot that down.
Can I intrude a moment?
Put it in the parking lot. Yeah.
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 The
Pretending
kinetic
to write.
race,
That's really good.
the kinetic race only really happens once a year, and usually only for 3-4 days. There's a whole year of planning going on
I know.
beforehand.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, and this goes for all the different races.
Absolutely. Yeah,
So-
our little race, yeah, it takes us a year because I'm doing most of it because I'm retired.
Yeah, and that's my issue. I'm still working, which has made it difficult to get to these 5 o'clock sessions. But I've now said it. I'm gonna leave work 4:30 on Friday, so I can come home and do this and have fun instead.
Yay.
At least you
Okay.
have a job.
Yeah, that's a blessing and a curse for me at the moment. But yeah, I have a job. All right, thank you guys.
Before you go, I have a couple of racers who have asked for a later time. And so next week is going to be at 7.
Oh,
So,
awesome.
So yeah. And maybe we can toggle back and forth between 5 and 7. One of the things I want to do is I want to be super like repeatable. So I don't know what that looks like yet, but next week's going to be 7 o'clock so that everybody knows, which Sandy, I know puts you another hour past that, but
Yeah, I'll be asleep then, but I'll do some, something to, yeah, I'll do something to keep myself awake.
Or put a mural up on the wall and just sign into Zoom and go to sleep.
Thanks, you guys.
Okay.
This was
Thank
great
you.
tonight. I appreciate
was
it,
great.
Thank you.
all of you
If I
so
could
much.
close with, if I could close with something really funny.
Yeah.
Chris, you were asking Bob, what is his role in Kinetic Universe? And he said fluid. So if you go to my Facebook page, Sandy Sherman, you'll see that I'm the glue of the Longmont Kinetics Planning Committee.
Oh, okay. Okay.
One of our team members, Tom, great, he's been in it 35 years. We were having a wrap-up meeting after it was over, like at a bar. And when we left, he just, hugged me and he said, "You're the glue." And I like that.
That's wonderful.
Basically,
Yeah.
of 14 of us, basically there were 12 working full-time. And we would come together twice a month and I'd take notes and do the agenda and do, 3,000 emails a year and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, we all we all worked together and we had all these ideas. Well, we should go to the engineering school at CU. Yeah, well, that we would be me, and I was just running it and doing the emails and the press releases. So we never got out there finding new blood. We're like in our 60s and 70s now.
Yeah.
Anyway, closing thought, I'm the glue, Bob's the fluid.
Yeah, we need glue, fluid. We might need some structural members in this too, but
Right.
yeah, good.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay,
Big
well,
old sheet
this
of
was
plywood.
great.
Yeah.
And it was
This
good
is
to meet you virtually, Sandy. I'm sure I've seen you at multiple races, but I'm always distracted and busy and that kind of stuff.
That's fine. Yeah, I've been in California 6 times, 2010, 12, 14, 16.
Then I'm sure I've met you every one of those times.
18,
And
19.
Yeah.
You
Okay,
have.
cool.
You have.
All of them. Yeah.
I can testify that you have met her because she's when she's there, she's everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yep.
Right, because
Perfect.
I'm a volunteer for Geno at the beach and at the
Okay.
grocery store, blah, blah, blah.
Geno's my stuff. That was the luckiest thing I did was get friends with Geno in like 2002 or something.
Yeah.
Right.
Lucky.
Yeah,
Lucky.
that was good.
All right,
The
cool.
best bribe for her is a bottle of rum, by the way, or at least it used to be.
Yeah, it's good to know who wants what bribes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you,
Yeah.
guys.
Thank